Let's speak now to former 2024 Democratic presidential candidate Jason Palmer. Good to see you, Jason. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling quite optimistic, but I would say nauseously optimistic because this is the next hour, the most important hour of this election. There are almost 15 states that are going to be coming in with results soon. And I agree with that last person that you were just speaking with, that you need to look at how things went against the last election. So right now I'm watching Indiana. Indiana was 57-41 in the final analysis in 2020. And right now it is 61-37. So he's right at the moment that it looks like Trump is getting more votes in Indiana, or more percentage, than he got last time. But the Democrats have been really smart about what states we've been focusing on. We've been focusing very hard on Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, which are the three biggest states for this election. And I think we probably neglected Indiana and Kentucky, if I had to be honest about it.
So at this point, I mean, it is far too close to call, isn't it? I mean, as you say, if you have gone really for the states and those swing states that are really important to you, are you confident that those will go the way you want them to?
I really do agree that it's a toss-up election. This is 50-50. It's going to go down to the wire. You know, when Hillary lost in 2016, that was called around 11 p.m. at night. When Biden won in 2020, it wasn't called until the weekend after the election. I'm almost certain that this election is going to be decided later this week. It won't even be decided tonight. But if you look at the nitty-gritty and the details to see how are things trending against prior elections, like what I'm hearing from people that are out at the polling stations today is that there are a lot more young people showing up to the polls and a lot more women showing up to the polls. And I want to see that in the results too. How many women voted versus last time? How many young people voted versus last time? Are the anecdotal reports really showing out in the actual data as the results come in?
But there's an assumption there that women and young people are going to vote Democrat, isn't there? And what seems to be clear coming forward in all this is that that may not necessarily be the case.
Well, there is a strong contingent of young men that are Trump voters, and that may actually go more towards Trump this time than the last time around. But young women seem to be outnumbering young men, both in the early voting and at the polls, about 55% to 45%. If that keeps up, then the women's preference for Kamala will outweigh the young men's preference for Trump.
Is there a gender split in this election that we're seeing? We know that women's rights, abortion's rights, is one of the top issues in 2024. Do you think there could be a silent women's vote, especially in those red states, that would be missing in the polls?
Absolutely. And this is somewhat anecdotal, but I heard one of your previous commentators talk about Twitter, and I still call it Twitter as well. I'm kind of protesting against the whole new X name. But there are multiple people that I know whose mothers have voted either for Kamala or for Jill Stein or for Chase Oliver, the Libertarian candidate, because they just couldn't, hold their nose and vote for Trump again. These last few weeks of the campaign, it's almost like he's ratcheted up the misogynistic and the racism and the nicknames as well, which people just feel like is so sophomoric and immature. And we want to turn the page. I do for sure, because I'm a Democrat, but I actually started an organization that's investing in 18 young people who are running for Congress this year. Average age 38, 8 of them are Democrats, 8 of them are Republicans, 2 are independents. There's a strong group of us that want there to just be common sense, good government, and to get past all this chaos. And, it's not a partisan thing. It's actually just we need to take our country back and get it back on track. Deficits are too large. Like someone was mentioning a while ago, the border is out of control, and there is a bipartisan bill in Congress that's ready to be passed, and Trump's the one that stopped it. So we actually need to elect Kamala and pass that bipartisan bill. And I think Kamala has done an excellent job of trying to reach out to Republicans, reach out to independents. There were more than 1,000 national security alumni that actually came out in favor of Kamala just a few days ago, and the majority of those people are Republicans. So I do think Kamala is going to win, but it's going to be a nail biter. I do not think it's going to be decided tonight, even though I'm going to the Kamala event after this interview, and we're going to watch all the states come in. It's going to take until later in the week. I'm almost certain of it.
OK, Jason Palmer, really good to talk to you. Thank you very much.